A father overheard his 9-year-old son on the phone with his friend discussing the game The Sims. The son told his friend, "Whatever you do, don't get kids. They don't bring any money into the household, and all they do is eat." Guys, tonight I want to talk to you about opposite sides of the same coin. What I have here is an American quarter. On one side, as you all know, we're all in banking, we have heads. On the other side, we have tails. But I want you to think of this coin tonight as representing, again, two sides of the same coin. One side representing positive, the head side. The other side representing negativity, the tail side. Guys, in life, we have a choice in any given situation to look at the positive side of things or to look at the negative side of things. Relevant example is that this evening when I arrived here, the door to our meeting room was locked. So I had the choice. And I thought this is very appropriate for my speech that I would give tonight. I could either choose to keep my focus on the head side of the coin, on the positive side of the coin, or I could choose to begin to get negative and think, oh my goodness, how are we I'm going to have to cancel the meeting? All these guys are going to drive here in traffic and I'm going to have to send them away. I'm going to sit here and waste an hour of my time, so on and so forth. It's easy to feed our negativity, isn't it? But I made a choice and hunkered down and said, no, I know the situation can turn around. I'm going to hold steady. I'm going to hold to my faith that this door will be unlocked. Somehow, some way we'll get in it. And about that time, I heard the elevator ding and the janitor came through and I asked him to let me into the room. And here we are this evening. How we react to situations in life is so vital. And again, we all have the opportunity to stare at and magnify the positive side or stare at and magnify the negative side. And think of something so small, but that can impact our vision. Right? Say I'm outside and I'm looking at the sun. It's in clear view. The sun is infinitely times larger than this coin. But if I take this coin and I hold it close enough up to my eye, all of a sudden the sun disappears. So that's my perspective. Right? Our perspective has a way of blinding us. Our perspective on issues, whether positive or negative, can affect our vision. So I want you guys tonight to think about maybe various situations you might be facing in your lives, various situations you may be facing in your careers, obstacles that may need to be overcome. What side of the coin are you looking at? Are you looking at the positive side? Or are you looking at the negative side? And ultimately, that decision is up to us, team. No one can affect our perspective but us. It is a choice that we have to make up in our minds. Abraham Lincoln was quoted as, "Folks are usually about as happy as they make their minds up to be." I believe that's true. No one decides your happiness except for you. And I learned that more and more in life the more I go through. The older I become, the more I realize that it's not my wife that determines my happiness. It's not my boss or how things are going at work that determine my happiness. It's not the outcomes or results of situations or circumstances that affect my happiness. It really is my perspective. Am I going to choose to look at the positive side of things and feed that vision? Or am I going to choose to look at the tail side of the coin and feed my negativity? Team, I want to remind you as well that who you surround yourself with is so important in life. Are you going to surround yourself with people who are going to build you up and lift you up and encourage you? Or are you going to surround yourself with people who will be naysayers, drag you down? Oh yeah, that's always happening. Yeah, that's all that negative stuff. Look at the world. Just watch the news. There's nothing but negativity going on in this world. And just will feed that part of your ego or feed that part of your negativity. And next thing you know, you're depressed. You just feel like you're lacking in every area. And your vision has become blinded because your negative perspective is being held up to your eye. And all of a sudden you've blocked out the sun, so to speak. But if you surround yourself with successful people, people who choose to focus on the positive things in life, people who choose to overcome their challenges, their adversity, and their obstacles, as we will all face, team, that can make such an important difference in your life. I'm a testament to it. The more I surround myself with happy, uplifting, positive, energetic people, the more I become like them. And I have to tell you, I'm not this naturally outspoken, energetic guy that sometimes you see up here giving speeches. As a child, I was very meek, very calm, very quiet, very shy and reserved. And I see now as I look back That's because of my changed perspective. It's because of who I've surrounded myself with, the blessed relationships that I've been able to be a part of that have elevated me and lifted me up. So I would encourage you, every now and again, we have to look at those close circle of friends that we have. Sometimes we have to ask difficult questions is, are these people, or were they meant to be in my life for a season? And I've gone past that season already? Or are they really lifting me up? Are they building me up? What am I receiving from this relationship, and what am I giving them as well? And team, another example of our perspective is a magnifying glass. If you hold that magnifying glass up to something, it becomes enlarged, right? And so if you, again, change your perspective to the negative side of things, all of a sudden your worry becomes magnified. Your negative ego is fed. And now all of a sudden that thing's blinding out all the positive things in your life. One of the best things I've discovered that we can do is when you're starting to feel down, when you're starting to feel that negative perspective creep in, make a list of all the things that you're blessed with in your life. And you quickly realize the positive side of things far outweighs the negative side of things. So I would encourage you to do that, even on a daily basis, to remind yourself of how blessed we are in this country, how blessed you are to have the job that you have, to have the people in your life that you have. And again, I think that you run out of hands and toes very quickly when you begin to count those blessings. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, a clever person turns great problems into little ones, and little ones into none at all. In other words, we've heard it said before, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Something that I've constantly reminded myself of, and it really hit home as I was coming back from my grandfather's funeral a few months ago, is, the plane took off in a very bad storm. It was terrible. And it had been a crazy experience. I got to conduct my grandfather's funeral. I got to preach at his funeral, something just totally surreal. There's a lot of emotions, going through. And I was really thinking about the same thing that I'm talking to you guys about tonight, about perspective. Thinking about the life that he lived, the man that he was. And as the plane took off, there was such a storm, we were possibly going to even be delayed due to it. But as that plane took off, we eventually got above the clouds and the sun was shining. And I thought to myself, that's how life is. It may look stormy right now. I don't know what you're going through. We all go through things. But I want to remind you tonight that the sun is shining above the clouds. Keep your perspective on the head of that coin. It'll help you in life immensely. Thank you so much, guys.